Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jake here. I'm here for my nightly segment called Five for Fighting, which is my rant segment of the night. My rant this week is going out to the players getting hurt in the Olympics. Basically, I don't know what everybody's thoughts are on this, but players across different teams were getting hurt in Sochi. Pittsburgh Penguins defenseman Paul Martin suffered a broken hand during the quarterfinals and expected to be sidelined for up to a month. The Detroit Red Wings captain Henrik Zetterberg pulled out of the Olympics after just one game with Sweden because of a herniated disc in his back. Zetterberg had surgery Friday and will likely miss the rest of the regular season. Additionally, New York Islanders star John Tavares suffered a season-ending injury in Sochi after he tore his MCL and his meniscus in his left knee during Canada's quarterfinal win over Latvia. The New York Rangers also lost Matt Zuccarello, who is their leading scorer, for 3 to 4 weeks with a non-displaced fracture in his left hand. Basically, when it came down to voting for if the NHL players were going to play in 2014, Bettman gave them all a vote, and it was pretty unanimous that all the players in the NHL really wanted to play for their respective countries in the 2014 Olympics. But now Gary Bettman's saying he could cite injury reasons and concerns to not let them go to the 2018 Winter Olympics, which are in South Korea. Basically, I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know if the positive PR from letting these players play in the Olympics is worth them getting hurt and taking away from ticket sales and even viewership sales for these teams if their, say, star player gets hurt. How many people do you think are not going to go to Islander games or not care to watch Islander games because they now don't think they have a chance because they don't have Tavares? I mean, Tavares is the lifeblood of that team. What are they going to do? They don't really have a chance, I don't think, of making the playoffs without John Tavares. What do you guys think?
It's an active risk which all these players take when they train for their countries and when they go over to Sochi. They know that playing hockey and practicing, there is a chance that they will get injured. And one thing which I know is that similar to how the NBA is now allowing NBA players to go play basketball in the Olympics, it's not the same spectacle when you have college kids or when you have, let's say we have the under-21s playing in the Olympics. It takes away from the spectacle that it is national hockey. I know that I personally want the best players from my country playing in the Olympics, and they know that they have a risk of getting injured. If Sidney Crosby thinks that he's going to get injured going to play for Team Canada and he pulls out, it's his own call. So,
yeah, but you got to think about who pays their checks. I mean, all of their teams, their GMs must be furious. Who pays Tavares' check? Does the Canadian national team or do the Islanders? He's no longer playing for the Islanders, and they're the ones that pay his checks. He's not performing for them.
So why give players a vote then? Why don't you give the GMs a chance to vote for it, and if the GMs rule in favor of not going to the Olympics, so be it?
Because I think the GMs are always going to rule in favor for keeping their players healthy. Why take the risk when they don't have to? But I guess it's just kind of keeping the players happy. I mean, with the lockout and trying to strike deals on keeping everybody happy, I guess Bettman was thinking that his hands were kind of tied, that he knew his players were going to want to play. But I just don't know if it's the right call. I'm not sure. How about you guys down there?
I mean, I think it's all part of the game. I mean, that's the risk you take anytime you go to play hockey, whether it's in the Olympics or whether it's in the NHL. But yeah, I mean, I can't see where it could possibly hurt their respective teams if they do get injured during the Olympics. But that stuff happens. Who's to say that same injury wouldn't have happened if he was playing an NHL game? I mean, I'm not saying the exact situation would happen with those players, obviously. But, I mean, it just so happens that it took place on the Olympic stage rather than on the NHL stage. But it all comes with playing the game.
I think it definitely does come down to player decision. I don't think we think about this as much in America, but do you think that these players are more concerned with winning a Stanley Cup that happens once a year? The Olympic tournament happens once every 4 years, and they're playing for their respective home countries. Like, a lot of these guys are from Canada or from Russia, and I feel like they feel more of a sense of home pride when it comes to their home country rather than the team that's paying them to play. Whether they get paid or not, I think their loyalties do still lie with their home country, and when it comes down to it, they're going to be upset if Bettman does not allow them to play in the Olympics in 2018.
The number one thing which players are concerned about is their paychecks. That's the number one concern of every NHL player and every hockey player. The second thing is, how many hockey players do you see now playing their full careers for one franchise? But you have one country.
That's the thing. You have one country. You can play for however many teams during your career. You only have loyalty to one home country.
Now, for those who can't see in the studio right now, Katie is giving me the death eye. Katie, please explain. Please explain your stance.
I mean, for me, I think it's, if I was an NHL player and I looked back on my career, no matter how many seasons you have in the NHL, obviously, if you ever win the cup, you're going to remember those seasons before any other seasons. But you're always going to remember your Olympic years, if you make it to the Olympics, as whether you came home with a medal or not. And I think it's, for me, I kind of have to agree with Daisy on this. Like, you have one country, and you're going to be loyal to that country, forever. I mean, I know you're looking at me. I know you said you're from Australia, but come on. I know you feel some kind of loyalty towards Australia. And how would you feel if you got selected to play in the Olympics for Australia and you didn't come home with a medal?
Well, they denied my email a couple of years ago when I actually... I emailed the Australian Winter Olympic Committee about the skeleton because we didn't have anyone in that at that stage. But I do agree, you have one country, which I'm saying, but at the same time, if the NHL votes that you can't go and they pay you your $5 million a year that you're feeding your family and your kids' education with, you can't do anything about it.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, I know a lot of people that are not making $5 million a year that can still feed their family and pay for their kids' education. So, in my opinion, I think the loyalty to your country is going to trump an NHL salary unless you win a cup.
I agree with both of you guys. I think country pride or national pride, whatever you want to call it, is definitely a big thing. But then I also agree with Gary Bettman and saying that he has to protect the players in the NHL. It's not working out at the current stage where players are not getting hurt and stuff like that, whether it comes down to maybe it being in players' contracts. If they go over to the Olympics and they get hurt, then they take less of a salary or they get a penalty for going and playing outside of the NHL and taking that risk. I just don't see how it's beneficial to both parties to have them go over to the Olympics and potentially get hurt. But that basically wraps up, I guess, our rant section.
Thanks, Jake, for that. And everyone, the Penguins come back to NHL play on Thursday night. They host the Montreal Canadiens and the red-hot Corey Price, so that could be interesting. And Pittsburgh at the moment up by 16 points in that division. What do you guys think about the game Thursday and perhaps some complacency down the stretch?
I mean, I'm really excited for it. I think it's a little too early to start calling all that just yet, but I think they're going to hit the ground running. They're going to pick up right where they left off, and I think that's what all the NHL teams have to do whenever they come back to the season. But it's definitely going to be something to look at, moving forward, looking down the road. So it should be interesting.
If we're going to have predictions right now, how would you predict the first two seeds for the East and first two seeds for... So not the East, two seeds... The top two seeds in the East and top two seeds in the West at the end of the year.
At the end of the year, I don't know about the top two. I definitely see Anaheim being as one of the top seeds in the West, and probably Chicago as the other one in the West. For the East, that's a little bit more difficult, I think. I mean, obviously, I would love to see the Penguins in the top, but there's quite a few other Eastern teams that I think could give them a run for their money.
Outside of Boston and Pittsburgh, though, there aren't really a team that you can see standing up significantly to one of those West Coast teams. I know right now Boston and Pittsburgh are at least 3 games ahead in each of their divisions as far as lead's concerned.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, Boston and Pittsburgh, I think, are probably going to be your two most solid choices on that. But there's still a lot of season left to play, and a lot can change in a couple of months. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens when we come back.
I know. I would personally love to see a Stanley Cup with what game we are going to see at the last of the Stadium Series on Sunday. Chicago, and Pittsburgh. So I think that would be really interesting, and I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but that's definitely what I would like to see. But that's about all the time we have for you guys tonight here on the Power Play. You guys can still follow us on Twitter. We're going to be active throughout the week, and we will be tweeting updates as soon as it gets close to our show. We'll remind you guys so you can come hang out with us for another hour from 8 to 9 on Mondays. We are the Power Play, and this has been Chris, Katie, Zach,
I have two first names, it's fine.
Katie and Jake signing off. We'll see you guys next week.